Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This week I want to go into something that hasn't really been touched on before that may spice up your playing and may spice up your inspiration. Alternate tunings. So grab your guitars, let's go play. Cue the music. So here we have Wanda, who is tuned in standard, and you've probably been practicing a lot in standard at this point. And it's generally got a pleasing tone, but sometimes you want something a little different. So let's go to Gaia. Here we have Gaia, who is tuned down a half step from the other. So that would be E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, and another E flat. And you can play over it with those same structures that you always use. It just brings the tone down a little bit, especially when you hit open strings. Which makes it a little bit moodier. And in English that would be moodier. Even those chord structures that you're so used to doing, like the D, drops it down a half step and makes it a little more mellow, a little easier to deal with, and it changes the vibe of what you're playing. Dude, show them that cool thing you've got going on with your acoustic. They're gonna love it. And then, of course, there's Rosita. I have such a love-hate relationship with this thing. I had put steel strings back on it to try and accommodate this pickup, which I still can't quite seem to get to work right. So it's really hard to record from it. But in order to deal with the steel strings, I decided to experiment with yet another alternate tuning. It's basically tuned into an open G chord. The reason it's considered a open G tuning, even though it starts with a D, is because of the letters involved. With a G, you have G, A, B, C, and D. Those are your 5 notes. So it's G, and then we got B, skip the C, and we got D. So G, B, D. So here's a D, here's a G, here's a D, here's a G, here's that B, and another D. Which, that is the 3 notes of the chord you want. Now, the reason I like this so much is because it kind of spices things up. If you play your E minor power chord, especially on these top 3 to 4 strings, simple chord shape, there's so much you can do just with that simple chord shape. If you try to play your regular chord shapes like the D, that's pretty tasty. Then this chord shape that I showed you, this kind of C add 9, that F shape, and it all still really works. So if you're starting to get a little bored or stale in what you're playing and what you're practicing, start trying some alternate tunings and see if that inspires you to play something new. It's a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoy it. And with that, I'll see you next week with a new video. And with that, like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. And remember, most importantly, there is no H in the musical alphabet.